Friday. We did this super simple one about the puppy, right? Just so we could do the strategies of finding different parts and how to find what we're talking about for the variable. Then we did this situation about tulips, right? We found the repeating fee, which will always be attached to whatever our variable is. Our one-time fee, we knew we could get 18 tulip bulbs. Then we talked about, I think it was bowling first, right? One-time fee of the shoe rental, repeating fee here. And then we went on to movie time and color show. And this was slightly different because we had the same, spend the same amount. So we had to set them equal to each other. Is this coming back to your memories?
Yes,
yeah?
definitely.
Noah, you have your packet? Put your iPad away. You don't need it. Thanks. Okay. So then we figured out if they're going to rent, if this person's going to rent 12 videos, they should go to movie time because it starts being cheaper after 6. Let's talk about Tina and Jim at the car wash. So they both work at different car washes and they get paid differently, right? So Tina gets $37 for showing up and then $1.50 for each car she actually washes. Jim gets paid $46 for showing up and then only 75 cents for each car he washes. So they make a different amount per car, but they also get paid differently just for showing up for the day, right? So depending on how many people go to that car wash is going to have advantages or disadvantages. The weather might have a disadvantage, right? When do people usually not get their car washed? When it's raining or it's going to rain, right? But when it's going to be nice for a while, you guys driven by a crew car wash when it's going to be sunny for a few days? It's packed, right? So that
We usually like cut in line and you can you don't have to, we have them limited.
We do too.
So you don't have to wait in that line all the time.
Right.
Even if you have them limited, you can just go to one of the open lines.
Yeah. It's a pretty good deal, right? Yeah, my boys like when they draw pictures on the windows, right? If your parents have unlimited, tell them to call and say they want to cancel, and they'll offer them a lower price. Because that's what I did.
That is a great deal.
They actually did do that.
Yeah.
I actually think he canceled one time and then he got it back.
Well, tell them to call and say, it's not part of my budget anymore. They'll be like, well, how about this? So now I only pay $27 a month. And I go to the car wash 8-9 times because I can. Get my money's worth. I like to have my
How
clean.
much is normal?
39 or 49.
You get $20.
Yeah, I know. So all you have to do sometimes is just be like, oh, I don't want this anymore. And they're like, how can we keep you? I know. It's sad, isn't it? They should just give you that price to begin with. But, anyway, little tricks of the trade.
I'll text them.
Yeah. They do the same thing with cable companies, like lawn service, pest control. I'm sure they would. Yeah. I think I need to cancel. This is too expensive. Well, how can we keep you? And then they send you to a different department that offers you a price you can't refuse. Yeah. Let me know how it works out. Oh, she'd be the one offering the price? Maybe. Okay, so we're going to figure out how many cars they need to wash to make the same amount on that Monday. So we're going to determine the number of cars, so that's going to be my variable. Right? And both of them have a repeating fee or repeating value and a one-time value. So which is the one-time value for Tina? $37 per day. That's a one-time pay, right? Which makes the $1.50 her repeating pay. So what would the expression be for Tina to represent how much she makes in a day?
37 plus $4.15.
Sure. I always put the variable term first. You don't have to. It's fine because you're adding it. But that's just what my brain does. All right, so then what's the one-time pay for Jim? Maggie?
46.
Mm-hmm. And that makes the 75 cents the repeating pay. So what would be the expression for Jim's money he makes a day?
0.75 plus 46.
Close.
As
X, right? It's 75 cents per car he washes, $1.50 per car she washes. So now we have to figure out what is that perfect number where they would make the same amount on that day. Okay, take a couple seconds, work it out, and then we will compare answers.
I don't know.
All right, who can tell me? How many hours do they need to work to make the same amount? Evelyn? 12 hours. So what you should have done was 12 cars. Yes, thank you. Subtract 0.75x from both sides. You get 0.75x plus 37 equals 46. 0.75x equals 9. X equals 12. So what would my complete sentence answer be?
They both need to wash 12 cars.
Yeah. They both need to wash 12 cars to make the same amount. So after 12 cars, where would you want to work? Let's say you know you're going to wash 20 cars a day. Where do you want to work? Jackson?
Tina?
Yeah, why?
Because after 12 cars, you're going to end up making more.
Absolutely. What if you only wash 5 cars a day? Where do you want to work? Yeah, because he's going to make more just for showing up, right? So he doesn't need to be there that long. Because he makes more just for showing up that day, right? Okay, what about Grant? Go ahead and read to yourself about Grant wanting to work at a car wash. trying to figure out here? What's my goal here? Situation here with Grant.
To find out which car wash, like, to determine the car wash that should work at.
Yeah, where should he work at to make $60 the fastest, right? Does that mean he wants to wash more cars or less cars? Less, right? That would get it faster, right, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's set up a couple equations here. So we're going to see Tina and Jim's car wash. Excuse me, Tina and Jim. Did I say Jim or Tim? Yeah, Tina and Jim. So we know Tina makes $1.50 per car plus 37. So when will she make $60? And Jim makes 75 cents per car plus $46 for showing up. When will he make $60? So this will help Grant to decide where should he work. Where could he get that skateboard faster? All right, how we do on the math thing?
Yes.
How many cars would Grant need to wash at Tina's car wash? 16, right? If he wants to make that money, he needs to wash 16. How many at Jim's car wash? Where should Grant work? Clearly, he should go to Tina's car wash. Clearly. Remember, maybe he chooses Tina's car wash and then it's a rainy day. Might have to work a couple days at Tina's. All right, let's take a look at the Waterfords renting a truck. Right, maybe they're moving. Maybe they bought a piece of furniture they have to go pick up somewhere, right? Sometimes you buy a piece of furniture and they're like, well, we'll charge you this much to deliver it, or you can figure it out yourself. Yeah, but if it's like a couch or something, right? You still have to pay for delivery or shipping. But if you buy from a local place, they'll be like, hey, you come get it yourself. You have a friend with a truck, we won't charge you. Or sometimes someone will just rent the truck themselves and do it themselves, right? All right, so we know how much they rented. It was $52.95 to rent the truck, 35 cents a mile to drive it. Then they also spent $33.75 on gas before they returned it. The total was $140.95. We want to find out the number of miles they drove. So that's going to be our variable. This one's slightly different than the other equations we've done. Who can tell me why this is slightly different? What do we have here that we haven't had yet? Maggie?
The total.
Right, so we have a total. What else do we have as part of the information given? We can combine like terms because we have two one-time fees. Right? The rental of the truck and the gas money. And then the 35 cents is the repeating fee. So I'm going to have $52.95 plus 35 cents X plus $33.75 for the gas, and that all adds up to 140.95 cents. Whew. We have to take into account the money spent on gas, so we don't think that was spent on miles. If you've ever been with your parents when they rent a car, you want to fill up the tank on your own, otherwise they charge you a lot of money, a lot more than gas is worth to refill it for you. Because it's inconvenient for them to go do it, so they charge you extra for having to go fill it up. Because in theory, when you rent a car,
You're supposed to fill it up.
right, and also when you get it, it should be full, right? So they don't want to have to go do that for the next person that's going to rent it. I know. All right, so let's figure out how many miles they drove. We've got our like terms. Remember, they're on the same side, so we combine them. We don't have to use our inverse operations here. Somebody's got the yawns in here. Who is it? Is it everybody? Did you guys get 54.25?
No, but I got 347.8.
So did you combine and get 86?
No, I see what I did wrong. I didn't add, I subtracted.
I got 155 for my final answer. But I had 54.25 left after I subtracted the fee and the gas. Is that what you got, Gianna?
I didn't do the math.
What? What do you mean you didn't do the math?
I just looked at yours.
Did anybody do the math and get the same thing as me? Anybody? Mia?
Of course, me. I did it.
You got the same answer?
Yes, I got the same answer.
Whew, okay. Guys, I make mistakes. You can't just count on me. Come on. It'd be nice, but, you know, I'm human.
But you did this last period.
I did, but I mean, doesn't mean nobody spoke up then. I've made it one time to the fourth time teaching something before a student will be like, hey, Mrs. Marsh, that's not right. And I'll be like, the other three classes just sat there.
That's silly. Where did we sit? Was it us? Or was
Yes, I made it to seventh period one day and they found a mistake. Just went right past all of you.
That's kind of silly.
That just means we're all not smart.
What?
That just means
It just means you're way too trusting, right? Okay, so my complete sentence answer will be the family drove 155 miles. Rylan, you all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
you with my education. So yes.
Did you have enough candy there, Carmen?
No.
How many pieces did you have?
So question. I have more in my backpack.
I think you had like 8 pieces of candy there. Like you
It
can barely
definitely had
fit
more than that.
all of the wrappers in your hands. That's hilarious. Thank you for getting them to the trash, though. I appreciate it. Okay.
What? American Eagle. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not in the state.
The Waterfords rented another truck from the same company, the same rate. This time it took this much to fill the gas tank, and they had a 175-mile trip. The bill was $164.95. Explain why it's incorrect. Okay, so we know how much the gas was. We know how much it cost to rent the car. We know how much it was per mile. We know how much they spent. So we're going to take this equation and we're just going to fill in how many miles they went for X and what the total was they were charged. So we've got $52.95 to rent. 35 cents times 175. That's how much they told us they went. How far? You guys okay? $45.50 for gas. That was the previous part. We're on part C now. And we're trying to see where's the mistake here because they were charged this much. So were they overcharged or undercharged? That's what we're trying to find out. Right? This is the new gas that they had to fill up. This is how many miles they went. And this is how much the fee was to rent the truck. So we're just going to first find out what is 35 times 175.
61.25.
61.25? Is that what you got? And we're going to add them all up. They were definitely overcharged, right? $5.15. So how could I figure out how many extra miles they were charged for? And then what would I do with that number?
Round it.
Divide by 0.35. Why, Gianna?
So you could give me miles, like extra miles.
Because it's 35 cents an extra mile,
Yeah.
right? We could do that. We're not going to, but we could if we wanted to. Your brain is tired? Yeah, we can be done. We'll be done. Because the other class had a fire drill, so we didn't get as far with them. So, or not the fire, but the severe weather drill.